Well, folks, it's that time of year again. The spirits of the dead roam the earth once more, and I'm stuck inside reading Dracula for like the third time or something. But it's not all that bad. I found this new tea that I wanted to try out. It seems a little strange and exotic. I'm gonna take a sip. Tastes a little bit bitter. Well, I think I'll just put What? What the? Oh God! What is this? Every poison known to science? Oh no, not again. Ugh. Hey everybody, it's me, everybody's favorite ghost ape, apparition of the...
Okay, I'm not letting you go this year. Come on, you're coming with me.
Wait, who are you?
Me? Well, I'm Death. I've come to take your soul. Leave the body, and leave it cold.
What are you wearing?
Oh yeah, well, have you heard of the death grips?
Yes.
Well, this is my death drip.
My name is Destiny.
Well, that's great and all, but I really have a Halloween special to host.
You should have thought about that before you kicked the bucket. Now, come along. Time's wasted.
Wait, look at my body. Something's going on. What's happening to it?
I'm not sure, but I feel overcome with superstition, fear, and jealousy.
Go. Dead I am, the one exterminating sun, slipping through the trees, strangling the breeze. Dead I am, the sky, watching angels cry while they slowly turn, conquering the world. Dig through the ditches and burn through the witches. I slam in the back of my Dracula. Dig through the ditches and burn through the witches. I slam in the back of my Dracula. Dead I am, the pool spreading from the pool. Weekend one you need, nowhere as you bleed. Dead I am, the rat, feast upon the cat. Tender is the fur, dying as you purr. Dig through the ditches and burn through the witches. I slam in the back of my Dracula. Dig through the ditches and burn through the witches. I slam in the back of my Dracula. Do it, baby. Do it, baby. Do it, baby. Do it, baby. Burn like an animal. Why, hello and welcome, all children of the night. It is your most esteemed host, Ape of the Horror, the reanimated corpse of a very dorky ape man, now possessed by a demon most foul. And I'm going to be running the show this year, and I'd figured I'd use this time to tell you about some of my favorite horror-themed things. What about me?
Begone, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts! Why would the freaky folks that watch this channel want to see a phantom stranger like you when they could have a super beast like me?
I guess you're right. I'll just go play Minecraft or something. Yes, you do that. Well, folks, let's start this evening off right with some of my favorite works of horror cinema. This is my 4 favorite freakishly frightful films. Roll it. Nobuhiko Obayashi's House is such a strange yet charming horror film. It has a fairly basic premise. A high school girl named Gorgeous goes to visit her aunt's house with her 7 friends over the summer, only for them to find out shortly that Gorgeous's aunt's house is haunted. With a very odd narrative structure, interesting choice of music, and psychedelic visuals, House is a delight for horror fans and film snobs alike. Oh, and I hope you like this tune, because you're going to be hearing it a lot throughout the movie. Delicatessen is a film that I hear almost nobody talk about, which I feel is a darn shame. Set in a post-apocalyptic Paris, Delicatessen follows a former circus clown, Louison, who moves into and works in an apartment complex owned by a big, scary butcher named Clapet. Little does Louison know that Clapet kills the wayward tenants and sells their meat to the other tenants in the building. While the plot is rather dark, the film is very bewitching, having a lightness and quaintness to it. I love the kind of dusty mustard yellow that covers the whole film, and the tweedy kind of costumes and setting. It almost feels like an indie PS1 FMV cutscene. Overall, if you enjoy dark comedies, this is for you. Now, in stark contrast to the previous films, this movie is not for the light of heart. It deeply disturbed me. Following a woman named Annie, who has been struck by the recent passing of her mother, she starts noticing some strange things going on with her daughter, Charlie. Now, I'm not going to tell you what that thing is, because the less you know initially, the better. But I will say that Hereditary chilled me to my very core. The oppressive atmosphere, the subtle items in the background, the amazing soundtrack by Colin Stetson, and the spectacular performances of all actors, especially Toni Collette as Annie, make this film a must-see. I can't recommend it enough if you love horror films that are deeply provoking and disturbing. Finally, in stark contrast to Hereditary, there's a film like Event Horizon, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. Now, I know that name is rather notorious within the Resident Evil community. Paul W.S. Anderson directed all the Resident Evil movies. But I promise you, Mila Jovovich does not appear in this movie to explain to everyone what's going on. Instead, Sam Neill is here to explain to everyone what's going on. Set in the future, an experimental FTL space vessel known as the Event Horizon goes missing near Neptune, before suddenly reappearing many years later. Thus, the chief architect of the Event Horizon, Dr. Weir, and the rest of the crew of the Lewis and Clark are dispatched to explore the ship, only to find disturbing details as to where it has been. Now, is this a great film by any means? No. But it is a fun little popcorn movie to watch if you can't think of anything else. And I think there is merit to that as well. I recommend this if you love really hokey 90s horror movies and stuff like that. It certainly checks all of those boxes. But your good buddy Ape of the Horror doesn't just like films. I also enjoy their video games. And in fact, I love games with thrills and chills and even a little bit of
Indigestion.
Here are 4 of some of my favorite horror games. Oh, God. I'll be right back. I've played many Resident Evils in my day, but the one I always come back to, the one that fills me with fond memories of sitting in front of a very, very bright television with my windows opened in the dead of night with brisk air filling my room while watching horribly compressed Nintendo 64 full-motion cutscenes, is Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2 was the first original Resident Evil game I played, and I've always came back to it when I wanted to scratch that old itch. In Resident Evil 2, Leon Kennedy and Claire Redfield attempt to escape the RCPD in the midst of a major zombie outbreak, fighting off and escaping zombies, lickers, dogs, and other insidious creatures. With an amazing soundtrack and sound design, lovely pre-rendered backgrounds, great audio performances by Alison Court and Paul Haddad, Resident Evil 2 is a classic in my book, and I will always enjoy playing it. And I hope you do too.
What's up, motherfucker? They met as adversaries. The was that for? A monster made them allies.
Hey, remember in the late 2000s when the whole grindhouse aesthetic was really, really popular? I mean, it was everywhere, from Quentin Tarantino films to Machete to Hobo with a Shotgun, video games like Wet, Shank, and Shadows of the Damned. But I think the one video game where this aesthetic worked especially well and made the overall experience really fun was House of the Dead Overkill. Set in the American South in 1991, House of the Dead Overkill follows Agent G and Detective Isaac Washington as they track down a nefarious doctor, Papa Caesar, all while being assailed by zombies and other creeps in this on-rail shooter ride through madness. I think what makes this game so special is that the whole House of the Dead series has always been written either intentionally or unintentionally like a crappy B-movie horror film, but as a video game. So to take the aesthetics of old 1970s B-horror movies and put them in House of the Dead, it's like chocolate and peanut butter. It just clicks so well. Great aesthetic, great music, hilarious writing at times. Some of this is not too PC, I'll warn you. And fun new mechanics like slowdowns and buying new weapons. House of the Dead Overkill is a game that anyone can really get into and really, really enjoy. Now for my next piece, we're getting a little indie. Perfect Vermin is a very interesting and profound experience. You're tasked with killing monsters in an office building that take the shape of furniture. However, they're really bad at hiding. While simple, the plot of this game is where it really shines. I won't spoil anything, but it did leave me thinking and profoundly pondering my existence. You may be wondering what I mean. Well, just play it for yourself. Hey, have you seen this game? Now, I know what you must be wondering. When did this come out? 1997, 1998? Maybe it was one of the younger PS1 games, maybe from like 2000? I'm afraid those are all incorrect. This game came out 2 weeks ago. This is Elisa. Low Poly is back, baby! It's so great to have a new PS1 style pre-rendered background, fixed camera angle, survival horror game in 2021. Elisa follows a soldier named Elisa that tries to track down a fugitive who has stolen some mysterious blueprints, only to be captured and taken to a creepy, enormous mansion that she must then escape. While this game brings back much of the aesthetics of an old PS1 survival horror game, it also brings back a lot of the same difficulty. No autosaves, limited resources, saves are limited, using money to save your game, all that. It's just really, really, really testing my skills. But Elisa is one of the most visually, musically, and narratively fresh experiences I've ever had with a survival horror game. I definitely recommend it. This game really isn't getting too much attention when it really should. Well, that about squares it up, my friends. I hope you all have a great Halloween. I'll see you next year. Wait, what? Another musical number?
No!
'Cause this is Thriller Night, and no one's gonna save you from the beast about to Wait a minute. Is that camera recording? Oh no.
This is Michael Jackson's private army of lawyers. Please open your door and walk out with your hands up. No one needs to die today.
You can't take me alive, you gall-darn lawmen! Nothing can stop...